So we have been all along talking about zero grazing, zero grazing. I think you have seen all the units of zero grazing. So you see that separation in the middle, it helps you to separate the other goats from this. So you can control anything. It's very hard for a goat to jump from here to go the other side. You get, so that is a separation. This is a very good unit and a well planned unit. This is the point. I always talk about zero grazing, and zero grazing is all about feeds. You know, I would like to remind you about this, that the business of goat farming or cattle farming is all about feeds. What are the animals eating? It's not all about the bigger land. The reason why I'm trying to do all these demonstrations is that we may need to do the farming ourselves, but we may not have the money to invest in the land. So what do we have to do? You know, in Buganda here, they always say, if you're poor, your mind is supposed to be very wide. If your mind is narrow, then you need to have. So if I'm poor and I cannot think, that means I cannot do any business. So this is the reason of zero grazing. The advantages of zero grazing is that animals attain more weight as compared to the free range. Reason being, they are not using a lot of power and they are eating too much. So that means if an animal eats and it is eating a nutritious food and it's not moving, that means it will put on much weight. That's why most of you people, you're advised to do exercise such that you can burn some calories. So I'm talking about zero grazing, and I'm talking about the feeds that you're supposed to use when you're doing zero grazing. I think you can see here, these animals are on zero grazing. I think you can see the troughs. This is not anywhere else. It's in Uganda. It's in Uganda, and it is made by Ugandan people. This is very good innovation. And this is the meal. This is what they call silage. This is maize silage. Maize silage is one of the best silage in the whole world. If not maize, then you can do sorghum. You get? But this is well done maize silage. It smells very nice, and it's really good because there is even bran within, but it's not just been put, but it was cut in the right time when this maize was at milk stage. So basically, what are the advantages of doing this is that if you have an acre of land, let me say you have an acre and you're planting maize for sale. They always say you can invest around 300,000 clearing of that 1 acre, then putting in the seeds, then weeding and harvesting. Roughly an acre can cost around, let's say, 400 at the end of the season. So that means if you're having a ton, which is 1,000 kilos of maize, you get, and you're selling it at 1,000, so that is 1 million. That means if you invest 400,000 and you get 1,000 kgs and you're selling it at 1,000, but remember there is a chance of selling it less money, you get. But if you sell it at 1,000, let's say, so you're getting 1 million from an acre for 6 months. So I don't know whether 1 million can really help a family to move on. But this is the side, this is my side. If I use that 1 acre, remember me, I use the whole, the stem itself, the leaves itself, the maize, the cob. I crush everything when it is on a milk stage. Milk stage, that's when the maize have put on the maize has put on a cob, and then it has put in the milk or the maize itself, but still in a milk stage, still it's weak. So when you check your maize and if you press it, it can bring out milk, that means it's the right time. Or if maize is for 3 months, you have to cut it when it is 2.5 to be in a milky stage. So this is what I can get in an acre. If you get a ton of maize itself, the grains itself, I can get over 10 or 15 10 or 15 tons out of that, because I use the cob, I use the stem, I use the leaves themselves, and I cut the whole of it. So that means in an acre, I can get like 15 tons, or let's say 10 tons of silage. So if I get 10 tons, each goat you see here, the maximum it can eat is supposed to be 1 kilo or 2 kilos. That's the biggest. And then it puts on a liter of water. So that means if I get like 15 tons, divided by the amount of my, let's say if I've invested 500,000 in the process of planting, weeding, harvesting, chopping, then I can go. If I get, let's say if I invest 1 million in the whole process of making silage and everything, and I get 10 tons, that means a kilo is coming out at 100 shillings. But there is still an opportunity that a kilo of silage can come out at 50 shillings. So that means whatever this goat is eating, let's say it has eaten a kilo, it has eaten 50 shillings. If it has eaten 2 kilos, that is 100 shillings. If my maize came out, or out ton of my silage came up at 100, that means a goat will be eating 2 kilos. That is 200 shillings. So if this goat is 8 months old, and in its weight, I can sell it, let's say 200,000 when it is 8 months old. I can just calculate and tell you that 8 months times 30 days, then times 200 shillings. You'll find that a goat, when it makes 8 months, it should have eaten around 20,000. So if it eats 20,000 and I sell it 200,000, that means I'm saving 180,000. So in this case, this is the process of zero grazing. I think you can see we have just put these animals on zero grazing. They have not even made a month. It's just 2 weeks, but look at how they are. I'll bring you back here when they have taken 2 months and see their weight. I told you the research I'm trying to do as me myself is I want to see my goats looking bigger than those of South Africa, like those you see in a competition of the champion goats. So like what we are going to supplement here, we are going to increase on the carbohydrates and proteins.